Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back once again to EML. It's Premier 2, and we're into the final round. And we are at Sao Paulo in Brazil for what is going to be a cracker of a finale here. Let's remind you on what the standings are going into this final race this evening. A lot on the line. The top three are separated by mere small margins, so it's going to be exhilarating. It's going to be hard to know who's on top, but as we're going into this final race, in first position is ERT. They are on 292 points. So that's 292 for ERT in first place. In second place, we have QRT with 282 points. So they are 10 points behind ERT going into this one. And then in third place, who are still involved, a bit further behind, but they are still possible contenders to take the title. It's Juventus Racing on 256 points. If anything, they're probably aiming to just beat QRT today and trying to get second place from them. But these three are pretty much confirmed as our podium for the final standings. And we'll find out who comes out where at the end of this Brazilian Grand Prix. And it is the Juventus Racing driver of Baki who gets us underway with the first timed lap of 107.8, followed by his coming in and splitting the Juventus Racing drivers is QRT Snipes, 107.7. We then have the VRT man of Ickle coming in third, 107.764 for him. Coming round the final bend is the Red Dragon Racing driver of Ivor Bryn, Mike. Where's he going to put his? It's a 108.6. Solid start time on the board for him. Colin Mason, on the other hand, his teammate, goes that bit better, half a second faster than his teammate, puts himself into fifth so far. Next is the BNLRE boys. It's Tundikip who has come in P7, 108.5 for him. RCR Tipple, who had, I can't remember if it was him or Loic. One of them had a pretty decent race last week, but he's currently not with a competitive time. So he will go again at some point. Let's have a look as our ERT man, Timo. Let's go on board with Timo as he looked to do his first time, and these are the guys to beat. We said last week Juventus needed slip-ups from QRT and ERT, and they did have slip-ups. There was a couple of collisions in there, a couple of mistakes that has allowed... Ooh, Timo, talking of mistakes, commentators curse coming in hot on that one. Timo has had a spin, and he's going to either have to go again or completely quit on these attempts and just get back into the pits. Let's go on board with the man who has won the Drivers' Championship in Premier 2. It's a separate little thing that we'd like to reward, as IRT Demangle has come in with provisional pole, 107.548, 4 tenths quicker than JR Damage. We haven't seen an IRT man up there on the top step this season. Can we see a change of pole position? It'll be interesting to see. I don't think we've seen IRT Demangle this season. So it might be his EML debut here, and what a start that is with his first lap going into provisional pole. But can this man, who has been in scintillating form, have anything to do about it? He does. It's a 107.4 for Kieran, and he continues on in his purple patch at the moment. He is just the man to beat. He's just in some great form. He's got 7 wins out of 9 races. He's looking to make it 8 tonight if he can. As another IRT man, Julian has gone into P2 with a 107.5. So IRT have come in and they've said, do not think this is just about the top 3 teams tonight, because IRT are looking good so far if that's their first attempts. Also, we see one Ghost King who has actually been in really good form. I think he's about P4, P5 in the drivers' sort of standings. So form-wise, he's actually been really good for Team 1. Got them a good, wealthy amount of points. And it's been a good debut season for Team 1 here. They've been a welcome addition, that's for sure, and I think everyone would agree with that. Yeah, as we're seeing a lot of the drivers pitting now. Snipes is on a lap, so we'll go with him. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining the stream. It's going to be a great one tonight. We're just going to try and keep on top as much as we can. I forgot to introduce myself. If you don't know who I am, my name is Lesty. I've been your commentator for this season. I'll be finishing off the season on my own. Unfortunately, we couldn't get anyone else in again, so you're just going to have to deal with me as always. As QRT Raikio goes fastest, and we see Snipes make a mistake just after the final sector, after getting into sector 3, and a big old spin there. But QRT Raikio with an insane lap of 107.1, he has put a gap between him and the rest of the field. So QRT fighting back here. This is going to be a really good quali session. I always enjoy qualifying here around Brazil. Just the times keep coming. They're such quick laps, so the times just keep rolling through. CPI Nomis we haven't talked about. He is the only CPI man here tonight, unable to get a full lineup. So that is disappointing end to their season. Hopefully Nomis can get a good result for them. Because it's a shame. It's a shame to have the last race and not have a full lineup out there. I think we saw Pokerroll. Pokerroll's jumped up for VRT. No Dirk or Max Geist for VRT tonight. Both drivers that have done a really good job. I think they've produced most points for the VRT team. So neither of them tonight. They've gone with VRT, Ickle and Pokerroll. Currently both in the top 10. Pokerroll has just cut a corner. Interesting. Not sure about that one. But we're going to leave him be. And we're going to go back with JR Damage, who was pretty much our first provisional pole sitter. Back he took it, and Damage quickly overtook his teammate. So let's go with him. Let's see what he can do here. Is he going to be able to improve on his time? He does. He improves by just under 100th. So that bounced him up ahead of the IRT boys. Just not enough for those top 2 times. Let's go on board with his teammate Baki, who's also coming up to the line now. Can he improve on his original time? He does. It's a 107.5. Slots in just behind the pair of IRT drivers. Seeing a couple of others coming in. Oh, BNLRE iShawk. This is the man, actually, that is second in the drivers' standings, points-wise. I don't think we've talked about him much, but he's always been a good driver. I believe he competed with BNLRE last season as well here in Premier 2, and BNLRE had a really good season there. I think they finished second. I think they finished second behind SXT, or they finished third. They were in the top 3 for sure. But iShork is definitely worth mentioning. It's hard because Kieran has been so good this season. It's been hard to focus on the other drivers, but iShork definitely up there as a shout for one of the drivers of the season in my eyes. Kieran's invalidated. Timo has done a 1:7.8, so Timo still a little way off the time, but look how close all these times are. There's virtually nothing in it. Kieran boxed Raikio, don't think he's on a lap. Julian's not on a lap, but these boys are working together. It looks like the IRT boys are working together with some slipstream, which isn't a bad idea at all. Maybe the only team here that thought about using the slipstream in qualifying. So we'll go on board. We'll stay on board with Demangel. He did have provisional pole earlier and dropped down 5 places since then. But he's not on a lap. No, he's not on a lap. Okay, that's my bad. I thought he was. I think most drivers are now coming to the end of their laps. Ghost King will be pitting as well. Raikko will be pitting. Okay, so everyone's pretty much now coming in, getting set for their final runs. Is Pokerol on a lap? I don't think Pokerol's on a lap. Loic, nope. Nomis, I don't think Nomis is on a lap. No. So everyone's pretty much coming in now and getting themselves set up for these final runs. Right, who's going to come out on top? Everyone in the chat, I want to see some predictions. Who's going to come out on top here? Who's going to take provisional pole in this final qualifying session of the season? I'm reading the chat as we speak. So Khalifa said Vamos ERT. Niels is here. Baki P1 my goat. Diego Zorzo, let's go Dara aka Raikio. Mazer said thanks for the great comms this season, Lesty. You don't need to thank me, mate, it's a pleasure. Stephen has said IRT Demangel is C, by the way, for your information. He changed his PSN. Interesting. I did not know. I'm now well informed. Thank you, Stephen. So Seeb is Demangel, aka Demangel. So we saw Seeb, I believe, last week, and he had a pretty good result. I think he came P5, P6, something like that. In the Americas, as we're seeing Loic coming up to the line, and he jumps himself up to P11, and it'll be his teammate Tipple, the first to go on these last runs. Neil says, go Juventus. Go on, guys. Predictions. Not long to go. The drivers are now making their way round. Who's going to get pole here? Is it going to be Raikko? Is it going to be Kieran? Is it going to be iShork? Is it going to be Damage? IRT boys, is Ghost King going to just jump up there on his last go? Baki definitely has potential to get out there. Pasanama, a good driver last week, unfortunately crashed out. VRT Ickle, the VRT boys have always got something in the locker. Timo is down there with a time that I believe he can improve on. Toondikip is down there. We know what he can do. You never know, Colin Mason could suddenly pull something out. We haven't seen Colin too far up this season, but let me know in the comments as we're going to go on board with Baki, because I think he is the first driver of the ones that I believe could take pole, potentially. Where's Julian? Let me just check where everyone is. Julian's there, Damage is there, iShort, Raikio, so they're all sort of coming up to the line. Kieran's out very late, so gonna... But let's go on board with Baki. First of the Juventus drive. Here he comes then. Up towards the line. What's he going to be able to do? Is he going to improve on his time? Yes, he is. He jumps ahead of Ghost King. Not enough to go any further. Pasanama has jumped up ahead of Baki, actually. I thought that was an IRT man. It wasn't. Let's have a look. Anyone coming up to the line? Kieran has started his lap. Raikio is burning fuel, I believe, for his last run. Kieran has just begun his final run. JR Damage has invalidated, so he's going to have to go again. Julian is now on a lap, I believe. There's a couple of drivers here invalidating their times. Is that QRT Snipes coming towards the line? No, it's not. It's Raikio starting his final lap. I'm heavily switching. I do apologise, but I'm trying... Oh, Raikio's crashed out. That's big. Timo, Demangle, Seeb has all finished. Timo's jumped himself up to P4. Ghost King, there we go. I thought Ghost King had the potential to get there, and he has. He's up into P2. Where's the rest? Here comes Kieran. Let's go on board with Kieran. He's got Damage, I believe, behind him. It's Damage or Baki. One of the two. What's Kieran going to be able to do? It's not enough for pole. It's 107.2. Is it Damage behind? No, it's not. Damage has got a purple, though, apparently. Someone's jumped up. Julian has jumped up the board. Here comes Damage. Can Damage do anything about it? Can he get himself further up or onto pole position? Oh, it's so close. It's ahead of Kieran, but it's not enough. iShort boxes. And Raikio, despite crashing out on his final attempt, has managed to keep hold of pole position. That is pole position for Raikio, aka Dara. Damage will be alongside him on the front row, and Kieran has qualified P3. IRT Julian in P4. Ghost King with a great final lap to get himself up into the top 5. iShort in P6. Timo jumped himself up as well to P7. IRT Demangle, aka Seed, is in P8. Pasanama of one team is in 9, and top 10 is rounded out by Baki, and we'll go through the rest as we go through here. But there we go. What a qualifying session that was. It's the QRT boys that take sort of early psychological advantage with the pole position for Raikio. JR up there. So at the moment we've got the 3 teams on 1, 2 and 3, and then we've got ERT in P7, Baki in P10 for JR, and QRT Snipes in P13 for QRT. The rest of the standings were Ickle, Loic, Snipes, Colin Mason, Pokerol, Nomis, Tundakip, Tipple, and Ivor Bryn Mike for Red Dragon Racing. Oh, wow, this is going to be something. I don't know the weather. No one has let me know what the weather is like. But, as you can see there, a nice sunny pit. So, here we go. This is it. It all comes down to into this final race. This is where it matters. There's been a few mistakes in quali from a few drivers. They've got to get them out of their heads and get focused. They can't afford any mistakes here this evening because a lot is on the line. Nathan Clark's commented, common ERT. Let's find out how ERT get on as we have 5 red lights. And we're away on the final race of the season. It looks like QRT, Raikio, has had a great start. And Kieran looks to be going up the inside of Damage. Is he going to be able to get that move done? Damage is holding out best he can. They're side by side. They're side by side behind as well. IRT, BNLRE and Team 1 all battling away. Tundikip. Oh no, it's not Tundikip, sorry. It is Ice Shawk battling away back there. Let's go on board because this is getting very tight just behind the top 3. There's a few moves happening behind as well. I don't think anyone's been caught up, which is good to see. Pasanama, as I say that, I think is dropping down. Loic as well, dropping down. Everyone's staying slightly in touch. Let's drop further back. Someone has lagged out. It looks like Ickle may have lagged out. I don't think I can get him an invite. Loic, is he in his car? He is in his car. It's good to see, but Ickle, I believe, is not in his car. Whether he is AFK or he's not in the session, I don't know. I believe we've missed something. I'm not sure. Has Kieran made a mistake or has Damage made a move on Kieran? But Damage is now ahead of Kieran again and into P2. We want to see the tyres. I can get the tyres up for you. Most going on the hards compound. JR Damage and Raikio starting on the mediums up there at the top, along with Ickle, Pasanama, Tipple and Loic. The rest of the field all starting on that hard compound tyre. As we see a yellow flag further back, I believe that's Ivor Bryn White. And we're seeing some moves. Nomis and Pasanama. I believe that's just with the AFK Ickle. We'll try and keep on board. There's the pit stop strategies for you at the bottom. It's medium to hard, or hard to medium at the moment. And it looks like Colin Mason has now had an incident. He has gone off onto on the final turn. His Damage does the fastest lap, so Kieran is now getting the treatment that he usually gives to the rest of the field. The guys on the mediums ahead are trying to get him out of the DRS. I don't know if they've managed to do it. They haven't. Kieran has got the DRS, but so did Damage on Raikio, and he's currently now out of the DRS. Pasanama making a move on Tundikit further back. Let's go and have a look at this as BNLRE and Team 1 fight their way through as Damage made a mistake. Damage has made a mistake somewhere. I believe Damage has made a mistake. We missed it. We're missing the action at the front. So Damage is now outside of the DRS as Ickle has joined. That is good news. VRT Ickle can get back in his car. He's going to have to make some real gains, but at least he's in the car and he'll do a better job than what that AI will. So Damage is now in 3rd place and going from pushing to get out of the DRS to Kieran to now he's going to be looking over his shoulder because Ice Shawk has made the move, as you can see, on Julian, and Ice Shawk is looking now to make it a double move and get ahead of JR Damage. And let's go behind. Let's have a look. Is there going to be any moves here as Tundikip has crashed out? And that is a full safety car. We're going to be bunched up. And that is a lap 4 safety car. So any gains there, Raikio, I don't think will be happy. JR Damage, I think, will be relieved. Kieran will be happy with this as well. QRT, I think, won't be happy with this safety car in terms of the title charge. He's going to be reined back in And what a start there. It looked like Raikko and Damage were going to be able to pull away from Kieran. And then Damage, somewhere along the lines, made a mistake. Or whether he tried to make a move on Raikko. If he did try to make a move, I wouldn't really understand it. That's why I believe it's a mistake. Because there's no point fighting QRT Raikko in the early laps when you've got ERT Kieran behind you, who is obviously the man to beat at the moment, so it's best to work together in the early stages, get ahead, get away. So I can't see that Damage would have tried a move on Raikko, but it seems he made a mistake, dropped back behind Kieran, and Raikko was looking like he was in a good position, but the safety car has come out and cancelled out any gap that he has made. And now we've had a lot of drivers picked as well, so I don't know whether there's a lot of damage or whether drivers want to get off a particular tyre. But we've had Baki, Pokerol, Pasanama, Tiffel, Ickle, Colin and Ivor all picked. No one going to softs or anything. It's onto the opposite tyre. Baki, Pokerol and the RDR boys onto the mediums. Pasanama, Tiffel and Ickle all onto the hard tyre. Let's have a look at position changes while we're here. There we go. CPI Nomis with the most positions gained. That may have been helped by some of the pit stops, but it's still positions gained. It's up 6 places for the only CPI man in this race. QRT Snipes up 4 places. That'll be good news for QRT, as he needs to do his part as well in this. It's not up to Raikko alone. It's up to him to be able to beat both Timo and Baki. Mainly Timo, but they need to be aware of the Juventus man in Baki there as well. That's an awful sound that Raikko is doing there. He's obviously trying to burn fuel as well. Don't want to see fuel. Niels wants tyres again. Sorry, Niels. Sorry. Niels is like on it. He wants the strats. He's very locked in. He's locked in. There you go, Niels. There's your tyres once more. Unfortunately, we did lose Tundakip, which has forced this safety car. That is a shame to see. It would have been nice if we got through the final race with everyone getting through to the end. It's a shame, but they've still got iShock in there. A very, very good driver, very reliable man for the BNLRE team. And as I said earlier in qualifying, he is P2 in the driver's standings for points. So don't need to praise him too much, because the standings in there speak for themselves. And we have gone green again, so Raikko will get us back underway. I'm going to grab a quick drink before we do that, just so I can be on it. When's he going to go? Here we go. Raikko is away. Has he got a good start? People were, I believe, jumping up places before the start. I'm flicking through, sorry. I was seeing a lot of people jumping. I know people... Oh, Julian's out. Julian is now out of the race. I don't think that's going to be a safety car. It's not even going to be a VSC. The IRT have lost a man after that brilliant qualifying they had. Both looked very fast. But Julian is out on this safety car restart. Let's go to the top 3. Top 4 have actually broken away here already. Ghost King already out of the 1 second DRS gap. And the guys on the mediums here, Damage and Raikko, they're 6 laps old now, so they're not going to be as powerful against the hard tyres of Kieran and iShawk this time round. So they're going to have to work a lot harder if they want to get them out of the DRS. Currently, not making too much progress at the moment. Kieran's looking like he's got a fair amount of straight line speed, sorry, and he's actually making a few gains on that home straight on the QRT man of Raikio. So I don't think it's going to go the way that Raikio wants it. We're seeing a few moves at the back. Loic has now taken a spin. He is dropping back. He's going again though, so that's good to see. Don't want to see any more retirements, hopefully, fingers crossed. And I'm going to drop back to Pokerol. Hopefully nothing happens at the front, because we keep missing the action at the front. Is Pokerol going to be able to eye up a move on Baki? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like he's close enough just yet. I think that's the thing here. You'll see like quite small gaps, but the gaps need to be really, really minimal here to see any moves sort of come off, especially through the second sector of this track. These guys getting very close. I saw iShock did drop out of this second gap, but he's back in it now. We're going to see a move here. Baki's eyeing up CPI Nomis. As Poker apparently does a purple sector 2. Don't know if that's true or not. You never know with this game. DRS has been activated now. Ghost King is the only man out of everyone in the field, and Raikio of course, who won't have DRS. So he'll be one to watch. Baki is one to watch now. He's eyeing up a move on CPI Nomis. Is he going to be able to go for a move here? He's looking, he's eyeing it up, he's trying to force a mistake. Smart of him not to just dive it, just to sort of give him the fake. He's going to go for it now though, up the inside of CPI Nomis. Side by side, Nomis has the inside. Is he going to be able to stay in front? He is. Baki moves himself up to P9, and that'll be crucial for this title fight, as he now is one position away from the guys he's fighting in the title of QRT Snipes and Timo, as Raikio sets the fastest lap. And here comes Sieve on Snipes as well ahead. He's up ahead of Snipes now, up the inside. Nice move from Sieve. I don't think he has the DRS though on this next straight, and I think Snipes is going to be able to take this back, but Sieve is going to make sure he's going around the outside. There's a wheel bump there, staying on track. Another wheel bump. We saw Snipes doing this last week. It didn't end well for him. Thankfully nothing major there, but he hasn't been able to get that place back, and he's going to have to just sit there behind Sieve and try again later on. Nomis is under more pressure as Pokerol on those medium tyres is making a move. He's going up the inside. Nomis is trying to defend it, but he's going to have to give that one up. Apparently we have over 100 viewers right now. I'm not sure what's happened there. Maybe a PSGL stream has finished, but thank you everyone for joining. Please do like and subscribe to League Racing TV. Like the stream, get in the comments, let me know what you're thinking of the action, some predictions, chat to me, as Baki is now making a move on Snipes. It's all happening here in the midfield at the moment, as QRT and JR now battle it out. And now we're seeing some moves up top. Damage up ahead of Kieran. Those mediums working well, or was it that Kieran was out of the DRS to Raikio? It could have been that, the DRS giving Damage that advantage and making it much easier for him to get in front of the ERT man. So Juventus Racing making some moves, both drivers looking good at the moment. Obviously tyre difference here would have helped Damage. He's on the faster compound of the mediums compared to the hards. Oh, Kieran's back end really did not like that power there being put down. Maybe put down the power a bit too early, and that's he's fine. He's within the DRS, but that was a hair-raising moment there for Kieran. Damage is flashing, so I believe he's used up pretty much all of his ERS. But Kieran has got nothing in the locker at the moment to respond to Damage getting ahead of him a lap before. We'll go back to the midfield because I think Baki is looking good at the moment. He's looking like a man on a mission. And he is eyeing up Sieb, who is flashing a lot, trying to harvest energy, using a lot of his ERS. Trying to push, I think, is Sieb to stay within the DRS to Timo ahead of him, as Mike is our first driver to pick up a penalty. I don't think he'll be the last, so we'll keep an eye on penalties for sure, especially if they prop up within this title fight, I should say. Let's go on board with Baki now, because I think he's looking good. I might have to switch forward though, because Kieran is also looking like he's eyeing up a move on Baki's teammate in Damage. Is that time coming down? It does look like it's slightly. We're just going to jump across. He's not going to be able to make a move. Is Baki close enough for a move? I don't think so. So I don't think we're going to see any moves. Tipple maybe on Nomis? No, no moves here. People are getting tighter though. Drivers are getting tighter. Gaps are coming down. But at the moment, QRT Raikko is the race leader. 13 laps into this one, getting close to that halfway point. I'm sure fairly soon we're going to see the mediums starting to come in. Baki is now looking to make a move on Demangle, aka IRT Sieb. Is he going to be able to get it done? He's going around the outside. It's going to be the hard way for him, but he gets it done. I think Demangle maybe got a bit too much of the curb there, and it threw him offline a bit. And Baki continues to make strides forward in this race, as Kieran's still stuck behind Damage, unable to get within distance to be able to poke that McLaren up the inside or outside of the Juventus Racing Alpine. But Damage looking like the man wanting to get things done most out on track here. Kieran is really close. Sector 2, we've got another yellow flag. We've seen Eiffel, Bryn, Mike have a bit of a wobble. I think Colin also had one, but Loic is now the latest driver as well. Mace has just informed me 3-point gap at the moment without fastest lap. So ERT, or 4-point gap he was saying. So 4-point gap at the moment. ERT. Damage comes into the pits. He's done on those medium tyres, as we see Baki making another move. Baki is looking really good at the moment. Is he going to be able to defend that position though? The Mangle coming back at him, or Timo I should say, but no, Baki stays ahead, doing a really good job here. He's managed to jump both the QRT and ERT man of Snipes and Timo, and get ahead of Demangle, aka Sieb, the IRT driver. And he's doing what he needs to do. He just needs to do as best as he can. He needs to beat the guys around him, and he's doing that. JR Damage pitted. He's on to the hards down in P15. Are we going to see Raikko react? He is going to react. So Kieran will take net lead of this race at the moment. Those hards will need to go a bit longer. So they've done 14-15 laps on those. So they're going to have to do about 20 plus on their hard stints. So we're looking at least another 4 or 5 laps for Kieran and iShort. I don't think iShort will be looking to make a move, you know, on Kieran. I don't think he's battling. Like, BNLRE aren't battling ERT at the moment. Obviously, they'd like a race win, but I don't think now would be the right time to start battling. I think he's doing well here, just staying in the DRS, just letting Kieran bring him around the track, basically. I think that's the best thing he can do right now. And then wait until he's on those fresh mediums, faster compound tyre, and then maybe look to make a few moves on possibly Kieran and then Raikko and Damage. And Raikko, by the way, came out 2 seconds ahead of Damage. So he's down there in P14. Obviously, they're going to have some traffic to get through now. They're going to have guys ahead of them on old tyres. I mean, Colin's there with 12-lap-old mediums. I think Colin will be taking those a few laps more at least. And then the guys on the hards ahead of them won't be pitting anytime soon as well. Pokerol is on the back of Demangle here. Not going to be able to make a move, or is he? Lining one up. He's gone for it up the inside. That's an aggressive move. Is he going to be able to make it stick? Seeb saw it coming, thankfully. Pulled his car out of the way. He's tried to fight it, but Pokerol makes that place up. And he's up into P6. A nice move, aggressive, but a nicely done move. Well executed from the VRT man. It is Raikko and Damage at the moment. As you can see, not doing much. Always ITC trying to come back. And Snipes is now going to get involved as well. So Pokerol making that move, and now he's going to lose a couple of positions possibly. He's forcing Snipes around the outside. Snipes is still there, battling away. Pasanama is going to have to be getting involved now, and there may have been contact. Pokerol is round. May have been contact. He might have lost it himself. Further ahead, Baki has made a move on Ghost King as well. Baki continuing to move forward through the field. Pokerol's dropped quite far back. He's behind Raikko and Damage, who have pitted now. So that is a real shame. I'm not sure if there was any contact there. Hopefully there wasn't. I mean, for VRT's sake, they'd hope there was. But Pokerol now have a bit of work to do, and those mediums won't be feeling any better after that spin. Would have brought the tyre wear up a little. And we're seeing RTC coming into the pit, so he's done with his hards. Only 17 laps on the hards. That's interesting. He's going to have to go quite a way as we see a mistake from Pasanama on board. We've seen it. It's an unforced error from Pasanama there. That's got to be a frustrating one. He's dropped now down back to P12. Damage is even going to get ahead of him, I believe. Just about, yeah. So P13 now for Pasanama. Unfortunate mistake to happen. Tipple of RCR. A man looking to make a move on CPI Nomis. Nomis has been involved a fair amount, I believe. Sort of had a few drivers at him. The hard guys would have had a lot. I mean, Nomis is 4 laps older tyres than Tipple, so him, Snipes, Timo, Ghost King, iShort, Kieran will really be feeling those tyres now as we see Timo pit. So Timo's pitting first. Snipes is also in reacting. He's got to, I guess. These two are in direct competition for the title. So they're both pitting for their medium tyres. Let's go back to Tipple. I'm not going to go up to iShort because I don't think he's going to be making a move on Kieran. He's just sitting pretty there for now. Just taking the DRS and getting on with it, really. We shall wait until either one of those two pits. I believe Kieran is going to pit this lap or the next. I can't see that he'd go any further than one more lap. iShock may pit as well. Pokerroll has come into the pits after that spin or contact. Probably best. Those tyres probably won't be too great right now. Thank you again for those joining the stream. The final round here in Premier 2. A lot on the line. A title fight between ERT, QRT and Juventus Racing. It's tight. They're all pretty close on the track. They don't look too close right now, but we're going through a stage of pits. As you can see, there's a few more coming in. Backy coming in now after that impressive stint, and he's able to go back onto a set of mediums. So after pitting early onto mediums, maybe through contact or some damage, he's able to then go back onto another set of mediums. So he's going to be looking good once more, and he's going to be coming out directly ahead of Timo. So he's ahead of the ERT man, and he's ahead of Snipes. As Snipes dropped back, I'm sure. What has happened to Snipes? Snipes pitted again onto mediums. I believe I've missed something there. Because Snipes, I think, was ahead of Damage. Oh dear. Kieran has picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. This could be big. This could be really, really big in this title fight. That is a big mistake. Big mistake. But him and iShock have pitted. Where they're going to come out relative to JR Damage. JR Damage coming round now. I think Kieran's ahead of him. Just ahead. But Kieran now holds the weight of that 5-second penalty. And that could be huge. Raikio has got a nice gap there. This is going to be intriguing. Jeff said he started on hards. Oh, okay, sorry, yes, I've got it wrong. It was Raikio I was thinking of. So that's my apologies. So no, Snipes has not made a mistake. Snipes is where he should be. I was thinking it was Raikio, because Raikio was ahead of Damage after the pit stops. So this is where we are now. We have a few drivers left to pit. We've got Pasanama, Tipple and Ickle. All three of those drivers need to pit, and then we will see relatively where everyone is. Maze is trying to do his best to do the calculations as we go. Whether he can keep it up or not, I don't know. It's a very hard job to keep live standings going, as Kieran is now making a move on Ickle. Ickle is not fighting. He's not directly fighting Kieran at the moment, so best to just let him go. Smart move. No need to fight drivers that you're not in direct competition with. So not too much happening. I think Kieran's just making his way through, and he does really need to put his foot down, because he needs to get away from Damage. He needs to get away from iShock. Backy as well, who's probably going to be coming fast. And he just needs to get as far up the roads as he can with that 5-second penalty. Tipple is not coming into the pits, so Kieran can go up his inside and move up into pit 2. Fastest lap for him, but iShock straight away take that away, and he's made a move on Damage. Actually, we missed that. Apologies. It looks like he went up the inside of Juventus Racing driver Damage. And he's up into P5. iShock fighting away with the big boys. IRT Demangle, aka Seeb, the fourth driver to pick up a penalty in this race. He'll be kicking himself with that one, I'm sure. Yeah, iShock getting himself involved. As I said, second in the drive standings for points. This is where he should be. But for these guys, for these three teams fighting for the title, they don't want him here. They don't want him fighting away with them. He's getting in the way and reducing points for the others. But he's the only BNLRE driver here, so he's wanting to do the best he can and possibly try and take a win here on the final race. JR Damage is gonna also make a move, I believe. He is up the inside of Ickle. Ickle's actually defending that. I'm keeping an eye on Kieran at the front. He has DRS on Raikko, but Raikko seems to have a pretty decent straight line speed. Damage struggling to get past. He's really struggling to get past Ickle here. And this is going to be frustrating for Damage because he wants to be getting up, following iShulk through, and now iShulk is going to just basically start pushing away because he's on the back of Tipple now. And look who's on the back of Raikko. Kieran doing the most that he can. He's they both want oh, they're both braking. They both want the DRS. And they're going to lose time. They're going to bring iShulk back into this if they mess around too much. Because iShulk has got the DRS on Tipple. He's going to be making the move. Raikko is going to be taking P1 back off of Kieran. That's going to give Kieran the DRS back for this first straight. Mind games are going on here. A lot of mind games. So here comes Kieran. Is he going to make the move? No, he's not. He's going to stay here. iShulk has made the move. He's ahead. Damage has made the move. Oh, Ickle hit the back of Damage. Wow. Ickle. Heart will be racing there. Damage does not need that at all, as Kieran has made a move on Raikko. They're fighting, battling away in the middle of Sector 2 here. This title fight is really coming alive in these final 10 laps of this Brazilian Grand Prix. Kieran has now taken P1, but he's not going to have the DRS. It's going to go back to Raikko again for this home straight. So is Raikko going to be able to take P1 back from the ERT man? These two squabbling is just going to bring iShulk in. iShulk is only 300ths away from getting back involved with these two. They're not side by side at the moment. Raikko making the move ahead once again of Kieran. And he's trying to go defensive. They're really battling. I mean, Raikko's probably thinking, the more I can hold him up, the more positions he's going to lose with that 5-second penalty. So Raikko will just not really care too much about iShulk getting involved. Here comes Kieran up the inside. Really pushing each other here. Really pushing hard. Side by side once again. Kieran's got the inside. Raikko is going to lose the position again. And it's the exact same. It's a repeat. We're stuck on repeat here because Raikko is going to have DRS, and now iShulk is also got the DRS on Raikko, so iShulk is now going to get involved here, and he's going to have the fresher tyres compared to Raikko. Raikko's not going to actually get back ahead of Kieran this time. He's going to actually try and use it on the first straight of the lap. Let's get on board with Raikko. Kieran going defensive on the inside, Raikko going on the outside, and he is through and back into first place. His teammate Snipes picking up a time penalty. That's not going to help the QRT boys. Kieran looking to go around the outside now of Raikko. Raikko defending the inside. Raikko pushing Kieran very wide. Kieran holding the inside. He's made the move. Has he got the position? He has. Again, takes the position from Raikko in Sector 2. And there's a mistake. Kieran's lost the back end. Kieran has lost the back end. He's dropped down to P9. He needs to watch those tyre attempts big time now. He needs to really, really be careful on those tyre attempts. Those rear tyres will be lighting up as we speak. And that is a massive, massive, massive moment in this title fight. Kieran dropping out of the race lead battle. And he's now in P9 with a job to do. Baki is one of the drivers who's really been looking fierce and fast in this race as Damage gets ahead of Tipple ahead, and he's looking to do the same as his teammate on Ghost King. And Tipple has made a mistake. 24 laps on those hards. Those hards have gone a bit too long. They're trying to get them onto the softs. Should have pitted maybe a lap before, and that'll be nice news for Kieran. Obviously he's got Ickle ahead of Kieran as well. He's got to pit, so that's going to be a position gained. But my, Kieran's got a massive job to do, and Timo as well. They've both really got to put their feet down now. It's all coming to life here in the final latter stages of this one. iShawk is now going to be battling with Raikko for the race win. And he's going up the outside, and he's got the move done. He's on those medium tyres, the fresh medium tyres of, well, 8 laps old, but compared to Raikko's 14 lap old hards, they are fresh. And he has managed to get himself up into P1. Raikko's not got an answer for him on that first straight. If iShawk can have a really solid sector 2 here, middle sector, he could get himself away from Raikko and possibly looking at a BNLRE race win. It's all kicking off. Baki is still looking to try and get ahead of one Ghost King. Ghost King not going to be easy to pass at all. A fast driver, the Team 1 racer. And as you can see, look at that gap. iShawk has nearly got Raikko out. He has got him out now, but Raikko, I think, has already picked up the DRS. So he has got the DRS. That's going to pull him closer. iShawk nearly getting him out of the DRS now. I've seen QRT Snipes. I think Snipes is making a move on Ickle. Ickle still refusing to pit. To Mangle making a move further back. Was there contact? Because Pasanama has gone round. And he's not in a pretty position at all. He's managed to get it out well, actually. And he rejoins with Colin, just behind Colin. Snipes now ahead of Ickle. I can't believe Ickle and Pasanama still was not pitted. 26 lap old hard. Look at Mike as well. We haven't talked about Ivor Mike at the back of the field. 25 lap old mediums. They must be in an absolute state back there. Hats off to Mike for keeping going with those mediums at the back. Fair play to you, sir. My hat's off to you. But this is where it's all kicking off. At the front, the fight for the title is well and truly alive. We want to see the fastest that I believe. iShawk, I'm struggling to see. It is iShawk. 109. The fastest lap could be key here. I don't think any of the top 3 teams are in a position to just pit to take that fastest lap. They'll be losing too many points just to gain a single point. So I think BNLRE iShawk will take that fastest lap unless someone further down decides to pit within these next few laps and have a go at taking that fastest lap point away from our current race leader. As we're on board with one Ghost King who is looking, ooh, bit of a snap there. He was getting quite close to damage, but that's going to push him back towards Baki. Baki being one of the most aggressive drivers in this race in terms of raw pace, not in terms of physicality or moves, but raw pace alone. I think Baki has been pushing the rest of the field really hard here. And are we going to see any moves? Raikko is out of the DRS. We're going to go on board with one Ghost King because I believe Damage is struggling. He's not got enough ERS, I believe, to hold off one Ghost King here. He goes late for the inside. He's trying to cover off the inside to Ghost King. He's trying to stick it around the outside. Ghost King says, no, no, no. This is my position. He's up into P3. There's a bit of a switch here as well. Damage letting Baki through makes sense. Damage on the old hards compared to Baki on the 12-lap old mediums. He's going to let him through to try and take that place back on Ghost King. You could tell, obviously, Damage fighting Ghost King as hard as he could, because JR are in the title fight, potentially, and they don't want to be losing positions. But Damage is going to have to defend again because he's got Timo on the back of him here. Thankfully, he has DRS to his teammates, so that's going to help pull him along and help defend that position. But we'll go on board with Baki, because I believe Baki will look to try and make a move on Ghost King if he can. Ghost King looking really good here, though. It's 1 point at the moment. Apparently it's 1 point difference, ERT to QRT. Wow. And I don't think there's anything the QRT boys can do at the moment. Neither of them are close. Snipes isn't close enough to Kieran. Oh, actually, he needs to be within 2 seconds because of the penalty. He needs to be within 2 seconds to be able... There you go. He's got a 3-second compared to Kieran's 5. He needs to be within 2 seconds to take that place away from Kieran. At the moment, it's 2.9. If Snipes can get that position off of Kieran, it could be going to QRT. At the moment, ERT boys doing enough. We enter the penultimate lap of this race. The JR boys are doing their best to hold but also push JR Damage on the defensive to Timo. Thankfully he's in this DRS train. Baki is trying to get this podium place off of Ghost King. Ghost King doing a really good job though. As I said, he's going to be a hard driver to pass. CPI Nomis further down the field getting ahead of Ickle, he's still on those hard tyres. 30 laps he's done. Fair play to him. If he takes those to the end, wow, good on him for doing that. But this is shaping up to be a really one of the tightest finishes for a QRT season. If it's going to come down to 1 point, it's so close. As we enter the final lap, iShawk has begun the final lap. And Maze has commented, is that Glock? And here we go. It's not Glock, it's Baki trying to make a move on Ghost King. It's going to be his final attempt to get this podium place. Here he goes. Ghost King has used a lot of his ERS up. Baki going around the outside. Ghost King holds the inside. It's well held by the one man. Timo doesn't look like he's going to be able to make a move on Damage further behind. It's not, the gap is too large there to be able to send for a move. Baki's not going to be able to make a move as Mike picks up a penalty on this final lap. Baki is there. Can he maybe get the run on him towards the line? We'll have to wait and see. But it's not going to be any of the top 3 teams taking today's win, because today's win is going to go to a man in very good form this season. It's BNLRE iShawk taking the Brazilian Grand Prix victory. Raikio takes the win in second place. Sorry, he takes second place. I'm getting too into it. It's Ghost King who holds off the fight of Baki to take a podium for Team 1 in the final race. Baki, a very good race for him. P4 and P5 for his teammate Damage. Timo and Kieran, P6 and 7 for ERT. We think it's just enough by a single point. Oh, it might not be a single point, because IRT Demangle Sieb has finished P8, and it's 2/10, less than 2/10, that QRT Snipes has finished in P9. It could be it could be 2 points. It really could be 2 points. It's tight. Maze is trying to work it out as we speak, I believe. So keep an eye on the chat. But I think it might be either a single point or 2 points in it. It's 1 point. It's 1 point. Obviously, there may be some stewards inquiries that will be looked at as BNLRE iShort hits the griddy on the podium. Congratulations to him and BNLRE on taking the final victory in this Premier 2 season in EML. Congratulations to him. Raikyo, he done what he could today for QRT, picks up P2. It may or may not be enough for the QRT team, but well done on P2 anyway for Raikyo, aka Dara, and congratulations Ghost King as well for fending off that late charge from Baki to finish on the podium for Team 1. There is the final results for you. I'll finish off what I started earlier. It's Snipes in P9. Nomis rounds out the P10, so the only CPI man getting up a top 10 finish. Well done to him. Ickle on those 32 lap old hards, I think, in the end. Finished P11. What a job from him, by the way. Hats off to him. Colin picking up P12. The RCR boys in P13 and P14. That's Lower Contifel. VRT Pokerol in P15. Pasanama picks up the fastest lap, actually, so that was taken away from iShock. He finishes in P16. Mike in 17th. And Julian and Tunjikip crashing out of this one fairly early on. And I can now confirm, thank you to Maze for working it out, barring stewards' reports or inquiries, ERT have taken the Premier 2 title by 1 point. So congratulations to the ERT team. Well done to them. They are this season's Premier 2 champions. And as a man that was formerly at SXT, who won Premier 2 last season, it's an honour for me as an ex-SXT man myself to pass on the title to ERT. Let's be honest. What a battle. QRT held the lead for about 6-7 rounds, I believe, and then Kieran, no mistake, Timo and the rest of the ERT guys have obviously done their bit, but Kieran, what a season he has had. 7 race wins out of 10 races this season. Wow, ERT, you've got to hold on to him tight, because he has done big things for you here this season. So congratulations ERT on the title, well deserved. QRT, you will feel very hard done by as a single point, but please don't feel down. You have done a massive job, and you've really smashed it this season. So well done to you guys on getting 2nd place. It's been a thrill to watch these battles, especially these last 2 rounds. You've really seen these battles come to life in the title, so it's been a pleasure to commentate over, and I believe JR will probably hold on to 3rd place. I don't think they were under too much pressure from behind, and they finished P4 and 5 today, so they done as much as they could today, Damage and Baki. So well done to them for finishing in the top 3 in the overall standings. So hats off to the JR guys. And that rounds up the end of Season 4 in Premier 2. It's been a really, really exciting season, really great season. Thank you to all the teams involved, ERT, QRT, RCR, RDR, IRT, Team 1, VRT as well, BNNRE, X Esports that were here as well. There's probably another couple of teams that were here. Thank you everyone for taking part. It's been a really, really good season, something I've really enjoyed commentating over, and it's been a pleasure to bring the races to life for you guys as best as I can. So appreciate everyone for joining the streams, and make sure you like it. It's like it for me to say thank you for the EML guys for bringing this season to you, and thank the drivers for bringing all the action to your screens. So please do like the stream and subscribe to League Racing TV, because EML will be back, not on this game. That we're coming towards the end of the cycle on F1 22, but don't worry, we will be back for F1 23. But make sure you do subscribe to the channel, because we have the PC season still going. I believe we're about halfway through, and get involved in that, because there's some great teams in there like Shazoo, NLR off the top of my head, I can't remember, FVR, ET8, some great teams in there. So please do watch the PC races as well. I'll give my driver of the season, pretty easy for me, Kieran. He's done a great job. He's brought home so many points for ERT, so well done to him. Big shout out though to Raikio, great season for him as well. IRTC, I think he's had a really solid season, well done to him. iShawk, definitely, I think he's finished P2 in the overall standings, so well done to him. VRT Dirk, VRT Max Geist, One Ghost King, really good job from all you guys, superb seasons as well. JR Damage, Baki, you've all done amazingly well, the whole field, so thank you for bringing Premier 2 races alive for us. But join us on the next game. I will still be here, that is confirmed. I will still be commentating Premier 2. Thank you though, from me, it's been a pleasure. Thank you Maze for allowing me to commentate here, and thank you for all your lovely kind words throughout the season and joining me. So I will say good night, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you when EML returns on F1 23. Goodbye.